All right, everybody. How are we doing tonight? We got an audio check. Are we all right? Music too loud? How are we doing? All right. So, I don't know if you noticed, but we got a new mat today. It's green. I think it's green. And working on a special car. So, we're already a little bit in progress, as you can see. I started working on this one already. I tried to get the white underlays down first before I really get going on anything. And yeah, so this car, I'll probably repeat this a few more times as people kind of join throughout the stream. This is a custom car made for John Crist, the comedian. His head will go on the hood. Focus. There we go. And my wife and I went and saw him in Cleveland a couple years ago. No, maybe it was last year. And he's doing a thing for his podcast, basically asking people to send in different things. He's got these shelves behind him, and so he wants people to send in different things to put on the shelves. And some people have already sent in some pretty cool things, but I don't think anyone's gonna send in anything as cool as custom diecast. So he does like NASCAR. That's one proponent to the whole reason why I'm doing this. It was actually suggested to me by my wife. So yeah, it's a neat little project that I figured would be fun. It would be something different, something that takes a little bit of extra creativity. This car is not a real car. It's completely a fantasy diecast. It's never been raced. There's nothing to it that is drawn from reality, except for maybe some of the logos and the contingency decals on it, and some of the sponsor. Actually, none of the sponsors. Everything is all his branded information. So, Net Positive is his podcast that he has, and then he has John Crist Comedy, which is like his brand, and so that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on. But overall, I like this car a little. Well, I like it a lot. I designed it myself, basically from the ground up. It took a little bit of inspiration from Mark Martin's Valvoline scheme from back in the day. And let's see here. Turn that off. And obviously, I think it turned out pretty good. Color scheme's a little bit different than Mark's Valvoline scheme, and of course the decals on it are quite a bit different, but that was a little bit of where I got my inspiration from. So I might add, the paint got a little bit messed up there. I don't know if I can scrape that off or if that's just embedded in the diecast, but in the metal, I might try to scrape that off. If not, I'll just cover it up with a plus, one of these pluses. So the whole reason behind these pluses is kind of like net positive, of course, positive plus, if you're familiar with mathematics, negative is a minus, positive is a plus. And so I would believe, and generally like positivity stems from the plus sign. But yeah, that scrapes off. Not really sure what that was. A little bit of excess paint or something. So, yeah. The positive, the net positive, the plus symbol, the plus sign, I think makes a really good transition between the black and the yellow. And that is pretty much why I designed the car the way that I did. You can see from his decal, let's see, yeah, right under the N. There we go. Get a little light on that. Is that plus sign? So that's where that net positive, that plus, comes from. I have an echo. How interesting. Let me see something really quick. I think I know why I have an echo. I probably let me guess. The echo is probably gone now. I bet you that's why. Yeah, we're still getting the hang of this live streaming thing. It's an adventure. Just like this whole YouTube channel. Like I've said in the past, it's kind of more for me just to document. Yeah, that's, I had a feeling I knew what that was. Kind of just for me to document the whole process of making these cars and working on them. This I didn't really think through a ton. Might call an audible here. I might cut this bottom plus off the side. I know why I had an echo. It was the microphone thing. The box that I use to run the microphone through. I forgot to change a setting on it. But we should be good now. Thank you for the engagement. Ooh, yay. At least somebody appreciates what we're doing here. Anyway, yeah, it's mainly just for me. And then if you guys want to join in, join along. Don't be afraid to hop in the chat, ask some questions, leave some comments, criticisms. See, currently our biggest fan is this Darby girl. She seems nice. But yeah, so this is a very easy way to document this. You know what? Honestly, I might just leave that other plus under the car, out of the equation. It wrapped itself underneath the car. That's funny. The bright yellow is cool. Well, let's hope it matches the decals. Again, being colorblind, I'm not the best with colors, but you know, if it's at least close to the decals, that'll be fine with me. Oh, who chipped the paint right there? That's all right. Little bit of touch up, that'll be okay. Little bit of touch up, be fine. Remember, as the great Bob Ross once said, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Bob Ross, what a guy. This side looks a little bit better than the other side. And again, just like the other side, we'll probably wrap that plus just around the bottom. Don't really need it. It doesn't really add a ton to the car. There will be a point, I think, where I'm going to have to mute myself when I'm putting the big decals over top of these ones, because I do have to use the heat gun, and it's just loud, and I wouldn't want to blow anybody's eardrums out. So we might get into that in a little bit. First, I kind of want to lay down all the bottom layer, all the white. So the thing about this car is the yellow in the decal, it doesn't go over like a dark, bright colors typically don't go over dark colors well. And so for something like this, you see basically for every decal that we have in yellow, I have a white underlay for it. And that's so that the dark black color doesn't bleed through the yellow, the bright yellow. So we could put this one on the deck lid. We'll get that going. What else should we get? We'll get this one on the TV panel. We got this little Chevrolet logo. We'll go in the back under here. That's where the Chevrolet logo goes, so we'll get that. All these white underlays. One thing, looking at this decal sheet, one thing I forgot to design into or add into the sheet was an underlay for these pluses, which go across the front of the roof of the car. So I think it'll be fine. I'm not overly concerned with it. I will eventually end up having some extra pluses by the time this is all said and done, because I have to cut out the wheel wells up here in the front and kind of around the A post here. So I should end up with some extra pluses to maybe fill in up top if that transition line from the yellow and black kind of bleeds through. So we'll see. But overall, I like this car. It's gonna be as a nice car. The goal is to have it shipped to him by next Monday, and I guess we'll see if he likes it enough to put it on his shelf. If he opens it, we'll see. But yeah, so the decals here, these two little ones, are for the B post, and that's basically all the platforms that his show is on. So Spotify, Apple, X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And yeah, this car was pretty fun to design because I didn't know exactly what elements I wanted to add where. So it took me a little bit to kind of piece it all together. Hopefully by the end of it, it'll be pretty clear what my goal was when I was designing this car. But honestly, these white decals probably wouldn't look too bad. I mean, obviously, I'm more excited about the yellow, but I mean, the white doesn't look too bad just by itself. I like the old massive deck lids that the Cup cars used to have. It's a big sponsor spot. Now the deck lids are pretty small. They don't really offer a whole lot of space on the cars. But back in the day, this used to be a large plot. It's hard to... What if we change the lighting a little bit? Let's put the lighting more up, like this. Is that any better? No, I feel like that's worse. What about down? Is that any better? Sort of. Anyway. Yeah, so... I mean, the white and the yellow doesn't look too bad as a combination, but I think the yellow and yellow, assuming that the two colors are pretty close, will look the best. But yeah, glad you guys could join tonight. I don't even know if there are many of you out there on this very important transmission. But getting back to it, yeah. So the plan is to finish decaling the car tonight, which, since there aren't a lot of people here, I don't really have to interact with the chat too much, so I can kind of pay more attention to what I'm doing. Which it has its positives and its negatives. It's always fun to interact with people, but I do get slowed down a little bit because I have to be looking back over there and then bouncing back over here. So, silver linings, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so the plan is to have this finished up tonight with all the decals. It's a lofty goal. I don't know if I'll stream the whole time. I might end the stream and finish decaling it by the end, just depending upon where we're at. But yeah, finish decaling tonight, put a clear coat floor wax on tomorrow to seal in the decals. Do a second coat on Wednesday. Thursday, put a automotive clear coat on top of it so that we can have a nice, beautiful shine, and then let it buff it, let it dry, buff it, and then send it out on probably, well, I guess we could do Saturday even. Well, I'm not going to be home Saturday, but it could be, we have options. But I'd like to get it to him as quickly as possible because I don't know how long the window is going to be open for this to be, for him to receive these things in the mail. But I think it's a pretty cool thing. I think he opened up like a P.O. box to just have stuff sent to him. And who knows? Maybe he'll like it, maybe he won't. If he doesn't like it, that's fine. I think he will. He's a NASCAR fan. He's done a couple NASCAR skits. He always has a couple whenever he tours in his show, something about NASCAR. So I would imagine that he would probably like this, but you never know at the end of the day. Who knows? He might be mad that his face is on a diecast. I don't know. That's a possibility. I doubt it. It's probably unlikely that that would be the case, but you never know. People are kind of weird. I don't know if I'd like my face on a car, but at the same time, it would kind of be cool. I don't know if you guys remember, so in 2020, I think Corey LaJoy was sponsored by Old Spice, and he had his face on the car. And then, oh man, it was like 2000, probably like 2006 or 7, something like that. Dodge had this thing, this promotion or something that was like, Ask Dr. Z or something. I don't even really remember it, to be honest. But I just remember this guy's face being on the car. And I think he had a mustache. It was like this big bald guy's head was on the car, and I think it was he had a mustache. So, yeah, that was an interesting thing. But yeah, I don't know. If he likes it and decides to put it on his shelf, that would be really cool. If not, perfectly fine with me. It didn't really take me a lot of time to make this car. I mean, obviously we're decaling it now, so we're kind of going through the longest process, but this was an old car that I had just kind of laying around. I didn't know what to do with it. And so I sent it. Just, I'm gonna send it, but yeah, I just figured I could make him a car, and it'd be pretty neat. So, and then obviously documenting the whole process here on the YouTubes is a fun little thing to it. That's not straight. That's annoying. So hopefully more people join throughout the evening. I know it's kind of sporadic or erratic. I think it's kind of erratic when I go live. I don't really have a schedule, so people can't really anticipate what the plan is, or oh hey, Diecast Driven's going live, whatever night it is. It's just whenever I find time. Tonight I found a little bit of time. Emily's in the chat. What's up, Emily? Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Hope you're doing well. I know it's Monday. Oh, but you're not, how's your shoulder? Or is it your wrist? Ah, that's okay. Don't have to apologize for being late. It's no big deal. We're just having fun, I'm just talking to myself in the basement. Ain't nothing but a thing. Our new robot vacuum. That sounds fun, sort of. Unless it attacks you when you're sleeping. That would be unfun. You never know. Technology these days. Shoulder is doing great. Good. I'm glad to hear that your shoulder is doing great. Therapy is great. Excellent. So you'll be back saving people's lives in no time. Oh, good thing. It's so much fun. You know, therapy is kind of fun in a way. I did a little bit for my neck, and it's just kind of cool that people, like, they know what they're doing. They could tell you exactly what's wrong. Because, like, obviously I didn't study human anatomy. Like, I don't know what's wrong. They're like, oh yeah, it's probably this ligament that's attached to this, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So in a sense, it's kind of cool. But also, it would be great to not have to go to therapy ever. But, yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, so this is driver's side, this is passenger side. Most simple exercise. Yeah, they do. It's a crazy thing. Cause my neck, it cracked a ton. So I hurt it playing soccer. I was playing goalkeeper and I dove to my right, and my head like hyperextended my neck muscle, and it must have pulled something, and I was getting really bad headaches and all this stuff. And then it was like 6 months to a year before I went to therapy, and then I finally went, and they're like, oh yeah, it's probably this. So they're like, you do this stretch, you do this stretch, you do this stretch, and it should all help. And I would say it's gotten like 90% better, but the big problem is, like, once you hurt something, you're never going to get back to 100%, pretty much. I mean, some things like a bone will heal back up mostly to like pretty close to 100, but like muscles and ligaments and stuff, forget it. You just have to realize that you're going to be broken forever, and it's a sad state of reality. But anyway, that's not why anyone's here, for that negative talk. We're here to watch this car get decaled for Mr. John Crist. So, yes. Emily, I don't know. I feel like you like comedians. I know Zach probably does. But I feel like you like comedians. So, John Crist might not be your style, but I don't know if you've ever even heard of him. How's the stream looking? Looks pretty good. Little tiny delay, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Net positive. So yeah, the plan is to get most of this car done. Hello, Murph. How's it going? Glad to have you. Your car shipped out today. I know we already talked about it, but I'm excited for you to get them. They turned out great, and I can't wait to see your reaction. I no longer have them on my desk to show you in the video. So I'm very excited for you to get them. Thursday. Should be Thursday. Just don't dox me when you get them. But yeah, they turned out great. I'm super excited. Haven't heard of him, but you mentioned him a few times. Yeah, so John Crist is a Christian comedian, and he has a lot of bits. Love Bert Kreischer. Bert. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Zach showed me Bert, and then Gabriel Iglesias. I don't know who that is. Maybe if you showed me a clip, I'd probably seen some clips here or there. But John Crist is, I guess, what you would call a clean comedian. Obviously, being a Christian comedian, he doesn't. Did John Crist used to be on Vine? Probably. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I mean, he has some classic short videos, like the one where they're at Disney World. That one's, I think, like his most popular one on his YouTube channel. he's got a couple NASCAR ones. Interesting thing about John Crist is he did go to the dirt race at Bristol a couple years ago, and he put his little decal on. It was like right on the rear quarter panel. It was literally like, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see that. It was like this big. It was like just the little tiniest little decal that he put on Corey LaJoie's car at the Bristol dirt race. And I mean, he could have picked better company. I mean, maybe Corey LaJoie is a nice guy. Maybe he's, quality. But some of the things he says are pretty wild. And does. Pretty sure he used his kids, he dipped into his kids' college fund to go racing at Atlanta, I think. That's wild. I would not do that. But that's why he's a race car driver and I'm not. But anyway, yeah, so my wife and I, we went to see Mr. John Crist in Cleveland last year, and the sketch is, he's a pretty funny dude. I guess if you grew up going to church and understand that kind of humor, he'll sing a song from church and then he'll stop and then everybody else will keep singing whatever the song was, and then he'll just stand there and look at you like, what a bunch of crazy people. So, yeah, it's just kind of funny if you understand that culture and you grew up in the church. But yeah, he's a pretty cool dude, and he likes NASCAR, which is kind of interesting. As far as mainstream things go, NASCAR has kind of fallen out of the mainstream. I don't know if you would call him a mainstream comedian, but he's got a podcast. Everybody's got a podcast, and he's in that world now. So it's just cool. He was at the Daytona 500, and he posted something on his, I think it was on his Twitter account. Whoever that really chubby kid is that everybody was talking about, I don't remember what his name was, but Noah Gragson was hanging out with him. Whatever that kid, whoever that is. There was a picture posted of the kid, and John Crist was in the background. And he's like, yeah, I was spotted with royalty. Kind of funny. But yeah, hopefully this car. Yeah, Rizzler, that guy, that kid. Yeah, he was in the background of the picture. That's a little too old for me. Murph, I think you're a little bit younger than me, so I would assume that's more your speed. I'm getting old over here. But yeah, the Rizzler. Now, I'm pretty out of the loop with the lingo of the youngins these days. I'm assuming Riz is derived from charisma, but I don't know. All right. Okay, we'll do these ones. How the kid got so popular. But it's, yeah, that's so the whole internet culture is just random. I mean, you don't have to be very good at something necessarily. I mean, some people obviously are. Some people are good at stuff. But other people just will say a stupid thing. Some people just do stupid things and video it and put it out online, and then they become internet famous, and then the internet forgets about them. There's not a ton of longevity in the internet world. It's very difficult, or it's very rare, I guess, that you see creators or personalities that have been around for a decade or so, or whatever the number, 5+ years, without transforming and changing their content or whatever. I'm not looking to get popular. I'm more or less looking to just kind of catalog my whole collection and meet some people and friends and stuff along the way and kind of entertain a little bit. But it's not you're not going to get big or get popular doing NASCAR custom diecast. It's not going to get you anywhere. So that's, I'm not doing it for the views. I'm just doing it because it's fun for me. It's a hobby, and if you guys like it and want to hang out while I'm working on stuff, and that's why I like to do it. By the way, Emily, don't know if you noticed different music today. You didn't comment on that yet, so I'm not sure if you noticed or if you like it, don't like it. Just found something different and decided to roll with it. It's still weird because I can't hear it, so I think I put the different music in. I don't even know. It's more like I don't even know what you'd call it, like a techno ED. I don't know. I know you said Metallica in the last stream, and I looked for something that was kind of like a little heavy metal, but I don't know if the chat could handle the heavy metal. I know you listen to it, of course. But the concert's coming up pretty soon. The festival down in Columbus, we will be heading to that in a couple months' time. See some old metalheads playing. It's good stuff. Music is pretty quiet. Oh, it's pretty quiet. So should I turn it up a little bit? Let me just bring it up a little bit. How's that? Is that a little bit louder? Well, it has to be a little bit louder, but is it too loud? That's the question. Oh, sorry. I'm still used to working on the car close to me. I'm it's hard to change pretty much all of my habits that I used to have. I mean, I guess I still kind of have them, but dang, that's a pretty awesome scene. Thanks, Braden Bunch. Welcome in. It's completely custom myself. I designed it. It's based off of... Cool, thanks, Murph. It's based off of Mark Martin's Valvoline scheme from the 90s, I want to say. And John Crist, Christian comedian, and Net Positive is his show. Come on, lighting. And so you can see the plus. I don't know. There's a little plus, like positive. Makes sense. And so I used all of the pluses, as you can see here. All of the pluses will be the transition between the yellow and the black. So I designed this car completely by myself. There was no real basis for it. There's no template other than the fact that it's on like a stock car body. Yeah, I guess it kind of does. That's a good point with the black and yellow. That's true. Fun fact about that, I did make him a car a long time ago. I made him... Actually, no, I think it was just one car. I made him... what was it? It was... Because he was a Matt Kenseth fan. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to rack my brain. It was years ago. It was Matt Kenseth... You know what it was? It was 2017. It was Matt Kenseth's final ride, the DeWalt paint scheme. That was a throwback to his original DeWalt paint scheme from, I think, 99. Either 98 or 99. Maybe 2000. I wasn't the biggest Matt Kenseth fan, so I don't really know all of his stats and history. But anyway, yeah, it was that paint scheme with Eric's channel logos and stuff on it. Pretty similar to kind of like this concept. Like it was, except that one was a real paint scheme. I just swapped out pretty much all of the DeWalt and the Matt Kenseth stuff for Out of the Groove stuff. And he liked it. I was a little disappointed. He never really reached out to me. Like he thanked me in his video, but that was it. He just like never reached out. Which I guess I didn't expect him to. But, I don't know. These things are a lot of work. So it's just cool to get a little bit of appreciation shown your way. I mean, you guys see all the time that it takes to make these things. So, like I said, not that I wanted to get anything out of it. It was just a little disappointing for me. But... Because I also offered up the option of, hey, if you want any more paint schemes of anything, let me know. and I just never heard anything. I think that's my biggest pet peeve in life, is people just not responding to you. Hey, thanks, George. That's funny to say. But yeah, I think that's my biggest annoyance, is just people not responding. Not that you guys, not like anything for the people in the chat, it's just in general. I don't know how many of you guys are in college or out of college or sending resumes and all that kind of stuff, but it is pretty frustrating when you just don't hear anything back. More complaining. I'm not complaining. I have a good job, good life, everything's good. Just hanging out, making cars. But yeah, so this particular car is a 2001. Yeah, I think it's 2001 Monte Carlo body, Chevrolet, and it was just one that I had laying around. I didn't really have anything to do with it, and then so John Crist was having like he put a thing on his podcast. He's like, hey, everybody send me stuff, because he's got these shelves behind him. So my wife's like, hey, you should make him a car because he likes NASCAR. And she's like, you should make him a car with his face on it. So there's his face, and this is what I'm gonna do. So somebody already sent him a Brad Keselowski car that was autographed, and I'm like, this car is way cooler. It's completely custom to him. Oh, the festival. I was just saying that I picked music tonight that's a little bit different than what you wanted. You wanted like well, you wanted specifically Metallica, but I don't think we can with copyright. So I was gonna pick something metal-ish, but I kind of like whatever this is. It's funky. It's upbeat. It's kind of fun. But yes, I agree with you, Braden Bunch. The early 2000s Monte Carlos were pretty nice. I have a 1/18 scale of Jeff Gordon. Actually, it's not like Jeff Gordon's Monte Carlo. It's like the street variant. And that was kind of always one of those cars that I wanted to buy, a street car. But never really. They're kind of hard to come by. Also, living in the north with winters and snow and ice and salt and rust, I wouldn't want to subject one of those cars to the northern climates. I'd like to keep it preserved if at all possible. Mario Party-ish. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It's whimsical and fun. It's upbeat. So, I mean, I figured like comedian, whimsical, fun, upbeat. That was my thought process. Maybe it's unfounded, but I don't know. So far, so good. Should we do the hood? Should we put his face on the hood? Now you'll see I made it a little bit too big so that I could cut off the bottom. And actually, it's kind of funny because the Chevy emblem on these cars, the Chevy emblem goes on the hood, not on the actual body of the car. So it's gonna kind of look like he's wearing a bow tie, which is funny because Chevrolet bow tie, but yeah. So I kind of planned it that way, but it's also kind of serendipitous. Word of the day. Accidental success. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys like the car. It's, like I said, I designed it, sort of. Took a little bit of How are you supposed to see the car with my hand here? What am I doing? This isn't how it works. So, took inspiration from Mark Martin's Valvoline scheme from like the 90s, late 90s, I want to say, with the pluses. It'll look a lot better once I get the color layers over top of the white underlays. But honestly, like, though black and white doesn't look too bad. It'll look bad, or it'll look better with the yellow on top. But the black and white, black, yellow, and white, it's a pretty cool color combination. I know somebody out there likes the Pittsburgh Steelers, And that's obviously their kind of color scheme. I don't really like football. In fact, I don't like football at all. But when I was younger, I was a fan of the Steelers because my mom knew their coach's wife. So Bill Cowher, I don't even know what his wife's name was, but she was her basketball coach in high school apparently, which is pretty cool. So when I cared about football, that was the team that I cared about. Those days are long gone. Can you guys hear the train? Did you hear that? It's train o'clock. But I liked these old Monte Carlo bodies. They were nice. Not that I don't like the next gen cars, but I don't really like the next gen cars. They're fine from an aesthetic standpoint. The number being pushed forward, you'll never convince me that that was a good idea. Especially when the Xfinity, ARCA, and truck cars all still have the same number scheme in design. There's no way you can convince me that the Cup cars going to the numbers being slid forward was a good idea. Or was for the reason that they suggested. Like, oh yeah, we just want to give the sponsors more room. And then you get terrible schemes like the Ream scheme for Bell's car. Like honestly, some of William Byron's schemes, I don't know, they just leave big gaps, big space. So whatever. I always say like I could run NASCAR so much better, but you never really know until you're in it. So either the headlights are This one's a little off center. This is where I get myself into trouble. When I put a decal on and I get it pretty close, and I think that it's good, and so I take all the water out from underneath it, and then I look at it some more and I don't think it's as close as it should be. Then I go back, yep, see that? And I start to mess with it like this. This is where I get myself into trouble. But I can't help myself because I think it needs to be in a different spot. And I'm unwilling to compromise my thoughts versus what the actual car looks like. This isn't even a real car, but I'm OCD about it. I don't know if you guys can relate. So either the headlights were a little bit off, or this bottom grille opening is a little bit off, or something. And also, like, I'm moving it barely at all. I also did like the Monte Carlos from the 90s though, with the rounded nose and the, see that? Look at that. That's frustrating. Chevy's always had some pretty cool body styles. The Pontiacs back in like the 90s and early 2000s, I did like the Pontiac Grand Prix body style as well. The Tauruses were always weird looking. I don't know. Something about them. And the Intrepids. The Intrepids they were alright. I will say though, the Dodge Charger from like 2006 to, yeah, they only ran the Charger in 06 and 07, and then they went to the Avenger. No. Yeah, 07 they ran the Dodge Avenger, if you guys remember that car. They ran that in half the year in 2007. That was their COT car, was the Avenger. So the Gen 4 car was the Charger, and the COT Gen 5 car was the Avenger. And then in 2008, I'm pretty sure in 2008 they just ran the Charger. I think the Avenger lasted 1 year. They're like, yeah, this ain't it. Not that what's his name? Juan Pablo won at Sonoma in the Avenger. Did Dodge have another COT victory in 07? I don't think they did. I know Kurt Busch won at Pocono, and he also won at Michigan. Were there any other Dodge victories that year? I know Casey Kane didn't win any. I know Scott Riggs didn't win any. Bobby Labonte, no. Reed Sorensen did not win. I mean, Juan Pablo won at Sonoma, but that was in the Avenger. I don't think any other... I think those were the only 3 Dodge wins the whole year. I thought Casey Kane was going to win more races. He was gangbusters in 04 and 04, or maybe it was 05. I think his breakout year was 05. Then he won a bunch in 06. Then nothing in 07. Do you guys even care? Do you even like, what is he talking about? Just pulling these random NASCAR stats from his brain. That's all right. This stream's basically just to have on in the background while you're working on other stuff. I get it. I do that a lot with streams. Somebody will be streaming something, whatever it is, and I'll just throw it on and kind of watch it, but mostly it's just for background noise. Although if you're going to put something on for background noise, I don't know why you have my voice. It seems like a misstep. But yeah, so yeah, basically everything on this car was, like, obviously his logos I did not design, but yeah, pretty much everything on this car I worked on and designed myself. So I see, at least on my end, it says we have 3 people, so that's fun. Do it for Dale. And we've been going for just under an hour. I don't know if you guys were here when I said this before, but I'm gonna try to not make it too long tonight. I don't really want to go past maybe an hour and a half, but we'll see how far I get on this car. As far as other decals go, I mean, we could do, yeah, we'll just do this real quick. We'll put this in. So we'll put some of these, now it says I have 0 viewers. That's crazy. Everybody left. They didn't like what I said. They're like, no, we don't even want to watch the stream. We're out. Put some of these pluses on. Whoa. Alright. Let's get on to the hood. It's going to be a little bit difficult with these hood pins. So that was one thing. Popcorn sunglasses. Nice. Thumbs up. That was one thing about these older cars is the molding. The casting had the hood pins cast into it. And it makes it very difficult to put decals over top of. But most of the time, if you put the decal setting solution on them, you can kind of work around it without too big of an issue. But we'll see how this looks here. Also, his neck kind of goes between the hood pins a little bit, so it shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, I intentionally made it a little bit larger than the hood so that I could wrap this around, which, I mean, realistically, that's not too bad. Looks great. Well, thanks. Thank you, pal. Well, I'm guessing the people that are still on didn't watch the race yesterday, so I guess we don't need to really talk about that at the moment. What topic do you guys want me to cover? I'll leave it to the 3 peeps in the chat. Don't forget about the Lumina. Yeah, the Lumina was a cool body style too. I think you're a little bit behind in the video. But yeah, the Lumina ran from when did the Lumina? I know it ended in 94. 94 was the last year that they ran the Lumina. When did they start running the Lumina? That's a great question. I don't know. 90? Did they start running? See, this is all before I was even born. So, yeah, they very well might have ran the Lumina in 1990, but I wouldn't know. That looks pretty good. I like that. Because this is like the cover of his podcast. So the background is yellow, so that's why we made the background yellow for this. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. This is fun. I don't know if you guys are having fun, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun decaling and interacting with you lovely people in the chat. 12 views, not too shabby. I do have to do a little bit of touch up on this yellow. I don't know if you guys can see that. It chipped ever so slightly. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this one's turning out so far. So if we do this, I was debating whether or not to paint the cowl black as well, but I decided to leave it yellow just to match. But that is cool. I like that. That's funny. I think he'll probably like this. I really hope so, because this has been a fun car to build. Now we can add some of these pluses on. It's really going to transform the overall look of this car. I guarantee it. Because right now it looks cool with all the black and yellow base with the white overlay, but hold on, let's put some of these pluses on. Now a lot of it's going to get covered up. They are background images, like that's the whole point, is they're in the background of their little support pictures, I guess. Support designs, we could call it. But yeah, that looks sweet. So all of the pluses I had to like manually put in different spots. So there's a lot of copy, pasting, shifting, moving around, control, shift. But I think it turned out pretty cool. And I'll be honest, the yellow's pretty close to the paint. I mean, colorblind, of course. I'm thinking I'm gonna hit it with a clear coat. As much as I like matte, as much as I like a matte finish, I think the clear coat with just the high gloss, how much it shines, in my opinion, is better. But look how much that changes the car from that side to that side. Don't get me wrong, the all white does look pretty cool, but you got some black, some yellow, some white. So a variety of colors really changes the mood of the car, changes the feel of it. And this is going on the yellow portion of it. Wait till we get to the black and then obviously the transition, but yeah, this is a fun car, and I'm glad I get to document it too. Maybe I could turn it into a video. You know, take this live stream and cut it up and pull elements from it. If he likes it and shows it on his show, I could like cut that out and use it in my video. That would be pretty neat. Because again, it's a pretty niche thing. Not many people really care that much about NASCAR or like it that much. So when they do, you kind of have to stick together. Of course, this body style of car, this era, was about when NASCAR was at its peak in popularity. Early 2000s, late 90s. More like peak popularity was like the early 2000s. But yeah, that's about when I started watching it too. Was 2000, and my earliest memory from collecting is like 2004. But for some reason, like, races in my mind, for some reason I want to say like 2001 maybe is when I think I started watching it, but I don't know, my memories ever since COVID, like all that lockdown stuff, like my memory has been altered, which is unfortunate. But so which one? I think this one goes over here. Yeah, glossy. I like the gloss. The high gloss is my pick as well. Do you guys like the new matte? Green. The green matte. I think it's green. This one's black, and I think this one's green. I like it because it has a greater surface area to work on. Also, so the first D'Agostini model came in, and that video, I filmed it, I did my audio, but now I have to edit it, and it's gonna take a little bit to edit. So I was originally hoping to have it out tomorrow. That's just not gonna happen. I haven't even started editing it yet. It's about an hour of footage on 2 different camera angles. So I have a camera angle, what you guys are watching from up here, and then there's a camera angle like on my right side, kind of where this logo is in the bottom of the screen. So I have basically 2 hours worth of video footage to go through, and then I have about an hour of audio to scrub through as well. And then if I need to record any other audio, I'll have to do that separately, but then edit it all into the video. So it's gonna take me a while to do. I haven't really done a video it's probably gonna be maybe a 10-minute video, I would think, or 8 minutes, something like that. Most of my other videos are around, well, lately they've been around like 2 minutes. Some of my older ones used to be around between 4 and 8 ish. So but I want this model decal. I'm looking at the decals. I want this model video to kind of be, not that my other ones weren't good quality, but better quality. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, that's the plan right now, is to get that edited probably this week, maybe a little bit next week, and maybe post it next week. I did make a short to promote it. It's kind of funny. I love it. But I haven't put it out yet because I would like to have the actual video done before putting the short out to promote it, because it's good. That short that's currently on my channel has over 1,000 views. So people obviously want to see this model. So I will be putting that video out probably within the next week and a half or so. I'll put a short out to promote it before then. And I don't know, we'll see what it does. It's part 1. There's 28 parts, I think, to it. And I mean, we're going to see how it goes. I have no idea how it's going to do. I don't know if people are going to like it. I don't know how it's going to turn out with all the editing that I'm going to do. But we're going to find out together, I guess. So, yep. It'll be fun. I hope you guys will enjoy it whenever it comes out. But that's crazy. Some people get like multiple thousands people watching them. I got like 6, maybe 5. Who knows? I am thirsty. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so we could probably do that one. Car's coming along nicely here. Oh no. I hear the baby crying. Why is she crying? She should be sleeping. It's past her bedtime. Babies cry. It's just what they do. So I was wondering if I should put the top decal on first, this one here, or if I should try and put these side ones on. Because if I put the side ones on, then I'm gonna have to mute my audio because I use a heat gun to get the decals. See this lovely heat gun? It's pretty loud. So I have to use that to get the decal to kind of contour around the body of the car in conjunction with the decal setting solution. So it's a little bit more involved. Maybe I'll do that. Would you guys mind if I muted myself? And I could still have the music playing in the background in the video, but it would just be kind of like taking a little bit of a break from hearing my voice. Everybody could use a break from that. Nobody wants to hear that. You guys don't tune in to hear me talk. You tune in to watch the decaling happen. I mean, that's why I would tune in. I think I'm starting to finally get the hang of this streaming thing. It's pretty fun. It's not too involved. I'm not gonna become a YouTuber anytime soon. Don't draw the crowds. You're intrigued with the heat gun. So it's like it's just a hobby. I don't even know what you would call it. My sister had it for something. I don't even remember what she had it for. And basically it's like a hairdryer on steroids. It just gives you a lot of heat concentrated so that you can heat up whatever hobby thing you need to heat up quickly. And in this case, the decals react to the heat. It kind of, well, if you watch them wrap the real cars in real life, it's vinyl, so it's a different material than the decals, but they also use, well, they use like torches sometimes, but they use heat guns on those to get the wraps to kind of shrink and contour to the bodies of the cars. This is basically the same thing. We're just using the decal or the heat gun to get the decals to shrink and contour to the bodies of the car. You know, it's the same concept. It's just scaled a little bit differently. But I can show it. I just don't want to blow your guys' eardrums out with it because it's kind of loud and it's annoying. That comment, Emily, seems like a Zach comment. I would assume that he's at work or something. So it's probably not him. But it just seems like a Zach comment. I could see him saying, like 100% saying that. Alright. But yeah, so we've already seen some of the car transform a little bit by putting the top layer of decals on. Now we'll look at this yellow when you put it over top of the white. The color really pops. I mean, it still looks pretty good. So these decals, they are printed with a white underlayer automatically. He's rubbing. Yeah, well, after 10 years or whatever. So it's hard to see. But basically, yeah, the white underlay helps make the decal more opaque. So it looks a lot better. He's not working. He's watching YouTube videos, people playing League of... Tell him to join the stream. Tell him to quit being a nerd. I mean, I guess this is kind of nerdy stuff too. It's a different kind of nerd. Tell him he's got to start streaming it or something. Try to monetize it instead of just sitting there playing like a noob. That's what I realized after all those years of playing Call of Duty with my buddies. Like, we should have just streamed, and if 10 people watch us, it would have been worth something. Well, not necessarily, because you couldn't really monetize it at that point, but I think you can on Twitch and different things like that. The hardest thing is finding the people, getting out to the people. That's what I struggle with. I try to make interesting thumbnails, but they're not, it can only be that interesting, I guess. So yeah, let's see. So we got the nice white underlayer here on the deck lid. Got the over the top layer. The yellow with the yellow spoiler. I mean, let's see what it looks like. Pretty close next to it. It's alright. They're not exact, but they're pretty close. Hold on, I gotta pull it close to me so that I can properly apply this decal. And the clear coat will change it a little bit. It always does. It adds a little bit to it. Oh, too much. Oh yeah, and then these spoiler brackets on the back, I'll paint silver. Same thing with these hood pins. Well, actually, these are trunk pins, deck lid pins, but it looks pretty good. The yellows they're kind of close. I think they would fall in the category of close enough. That would be the close enough category. For colorblind little me. Alright. Alright, I think this is probably, after we put this cowl decal in, I think this is probably a good place to stop and put the larger plus signs over top these large spaces here. Alright. Get that nice and smoothed out in there. Then we'll switch over, and I'll keep the video feed going. I'll just mute my audio when I'm doing the air gun, the heat gun, whatever you want to call it. Probably shouldn't use that word on YouTube because they'll be like, "What are you making?" They're AI algorithms. That's probably why, because I say whatever. I should just shut up. Alright, everybody, let's give this a whirl. I could turn the music up a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Well, actually, you know what? These will take a little bit for the water to get all in those decals. So we'll just put this decal on the back on the TV panel. Oh my gosh, funny story. So, not to out anyone, but I was talking to somebody that's involved in racing. They didn't know that the slang term for this is the deck lid, and the slang term for this part back here is the TV panel. It's just kind of funny. I mean, I get it. I'm kind of a super nerd when it comes to that sort of thing, but it kind of cracked me up a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that important. Also, the colors of this car are the same colors as the beloved Columbus Crew. Black and yellow. And white. For all you MLS fans out there. I know we got at least one in the chat. The Crew. Off to a 2-match winning streak to start the season. So that's fun. It's always fun when your hometown teams are good. Like the Indians. When the Indians used to win, like the 2015, 16, 17, 18 Indians, those games were always fun to go to. Especially postseason. Postseason baseball is just, there's nothing like it. It's different. How would you like to be bump drafted in this car down Daytona or Talladega's backstretch, and this is all you see staring back at you? Oh man, I gotta work on lighting. That's funny. Yeah, I gotta work on lighting. I gotta work on everything. I'm not a streamer. Do I look like a streamer? Do I sound like a streamer? No. No, I'm just a guy on the internet trying to figure some things out. Alright, it's gonna get loud. Let's see how well we can match these up. Because then we can put the contingency decals on. So you kind of got to do this in steps, otherwise. Alright, so I'm going to mute myself and bring up the audio a little bit. Actually, I don't even have to mute myself yet. What am I doing? I just have to mute myself once I start using the air gun. Duh. So we can do all this work first. And then once I start using it, then I'll mute myself. Wow. What a crazy. It looks really cool though. It's a lot. It's really busy with all these different colors and things going on here. Hopefully it overlays pretty nicely. I had to kind of pull the base decal a little bit in some spots to get it to fit, contour the body a little bit. So once you add that decal setting solution and you kind of pull the decals, the shape of them change a little bit. That's why it's difficult to do things like this where you're trying to contour around the body shape. Because when you do pull them, the shape of the bottom layer changes a little bit, and then you got to match up the shape of the top layer so it overlays nicely. Oh, see, I just pulled the whole thing. See, it comes with its own set of challenges. That's for sure. Yeah, so like this, I can feel the decal stretching a little bit because of the setting solution. But here, let's do this real quick. I guess that wasn't too bad. Emily, tell Zach instead of watching YouTube videos, he could be making YouTube videos of himself building his awesome Lego sets that you got him. I'm gonna keep hounding him till he does it. Alright, so then now that we got that in, we're gonna have to cut away this excess, and this is always a challenge because it'll pull the decal. Unless you have a sharp tip blade, which this one's pretty sharp. So we should be okay for it. I always hate these moments though, because you never know if you're gonna get it right. Turned out pretty good though. So we just put that in case we need extra. He hasn't touched that thing. Emily, I'll be honest with you, if you bring it over here, I will build it in a day. I'm not even kidding. It'll take me like maybe 2 hours and I'll have that thing done, and then I'll bring it back to your house. And then you can like set it on your kitchen table and be like, look, it's all done. No, that would be mean. I wouldn't want to deprive him of the opportunity to build something fun, whatever it is. It's like the Office one. Didn't you buy him something in the Office? I want to say. I don't know. But I'm serious. I'll build it super fast. Deal. Deal. Alright. We'll have to make sure Darby's in on the deal, but... Alright. Gonna have to go back to this real quick. Oh, yeah. See, as somebody that's never seen The Office, like I don't have really an attachment to it, or I don't really know that much about it. But I know it's a cultural phenomenon. So, it's a big deal. I'm more of a Parks and Recreation kind of person. I love that show. We just watched it last year. It was fun. They had like I think I don't know who my favorite character in The Office is. I think what they did, or not The Office, Parks and Rec, I think they did a really, really good job of casting all of the characters, because everybody really kind of fits into their personalities in that show. And I think that's one of the best qualities of Parks and Rec. Like, yeah, the writing's pretty good and it's humorous and stuff, but the way that all of the actors and actresses play the characters as they're written, and sometimes off the cuff, I don't know, it just, for me, it made the show a heck of a lot better. Because you could see in the first season, it took a little tweaking. I don't remember, like Mark, I think was that guy's name. He just didn't fit. It was just a weird character, and it didn't really work, and they changed it pretty quickly. And then from the first season on, like, I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot of things wrong with the show, and I think they got a lot right, and so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I think the way that all of the actors and actresses played their characters and how they were written were pretty good. Pretty good. I don't have a lot of I don't really watch a lot of shows. In fact, I don't really watch any shows. But for that one, at least, that's what I recognized. I'm sure there are people out there that are way more like critical and understand TV and movies and all that stuff, but just from layman's terms, just from somebody that isn't really involved in that world too much. That's just what I observed and what I liked about it. So, yeah. I don't know. It was a good show. It was a fun show. Didn't take itself too seriously, which was always nice. Especially for comedies. Like, if it knows it's a comedy, like talking about the show like it's an animate object. But, like, if the producers and the writers, they all know that it's a comedy, and all the actors and actresses know that, like, then they don't, and the show doesn't take itself seriously. Like, it broke the fourth wall a couple times, which is always fun. I enjoy stuff like that. Not like overly complicated. Impractical Jokers. Yeah, Impractical Jokers is great. It's a little bit different. I don't know. I think you would call Parks and Rec a sitcom, but I'm not really sure. But the jokes are like a league of their own. That whole thing is just funny. So, oh yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks really cool. So we have the yellow to black transition covered up by all of the pluses, and then eventually we'll have these contingency decals over top. Yeah, it's gonna be busy, but I think it looks pretty good. If you guys remember the Mark Martin Valvoline car from like the late 90s, that's kind of what it was styled after. That was my intent anyway. I think it turned out pretty good. Mark Brandanowitz, I think was the guy's name. And it's nothing against the actor. I just think the character didn't work. I think the character was strange for the setting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm no critic or anything like that. I don't know. Who am I to critique such art? I know Little Sebastian's probably like the best part of the whole show. Nah, probably not. A lot of people like Ron Swanson. I like Ron. His character was as American as it gets. Good old Nick Offerman. Oh man. I think we might be hitting that 2-hour mark. I don't think we're gonna... I mean, I still got quite a bit to go. Like I said before, I didn't want to be live for too long, but I don't think I'm gonna have... Well, I mean, I guess I could just end the stream and decal off stream. But I wouldn't want to deprive the adoring fans of this grade A top shelf entertainment. I mean, this is the best of the best, as we are losing viewers. One of these days, my goal is to hit double digits. Just for a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a whole stream of double digits. But it would be fun to do that at some point. Have the chat really going. Trying to keep up with it. Not that you guys aren't entertaining, but it's like a chat here, a chat there. Like Dr. Seuss. It would just be fun to have like, you know, double digits amount of people in here. One of these days. Do you guys like this car so far? I'm a fan. I designed it, obviously, but I'm a pretty big fan of it myself. I can't wait to see his face. It's kind of like Murph. I like doing things for other people, and this is kind of like my skill set. It's not that interesting of a skill set, but I would consider myself pretty good at doing this. So like, I made the Geeks and Gamers guys a couple cars. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos, but I don't know, it for me, for people that I watch or entertainers and stuff like that, I just have a hard time giving my money away, because I've just never been one to just give away money necessarily, because you work for it. It's, you know. But if I could do something cool that's meaningful, like I've made Moobs a couple cars that he's had on his stream, some Jimmy cars, and some custom 164s of his actual cars that he's raced in his games. So like, when I can do stuff like that, it's just, I don't know, it makes me, I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for the other people, but it's just cool to see their reactions. Like, I can't wait till Murph gets his car and he sees it to, I don't know, it'll just be fun. it's just fun to see the reactions. Just fun to see, you know, hey, I made that for somebody and it made them really happy. So that's all I'm trying to do. Just make people happy with whatever skill set I was given. And hopefully that's what this car does for Mr. John Crist. Hopefully he likes it. Which I can't imagine that he wouldn't. The only thing is maybe he'll be mad that his face is on the car. He's like, I didn't authorize that, but I doubt it. I mean, you can't be too mad about it, even if he is. But yeah, I can't wait to see it completed too. Like I said, maybe I'll put a video out once I get it done. If he does have a reaction to it in his live stream or in his podcast, I mean, and then I'll include that in the video. But yeah, I'll take a video of the car like I normally do before I send them out. Like Murph's, I sent his out today, and I took a video of it last night on my roundtable. So if he does a reaction live on stream, maybe I'll ask him to use that reaction to show in my video, just to show that, you know, it's cool. It's just something that I can do for other people, and like I said before, it's something more personable than just giving money. Which giving money is important, I understand that. Everybody needs money and stuff, but this is something cool, something personable, something that, you know, takes time to do. I mean, I really like that transition now with all the pluses. I think once we get it, once we get all the contingencies over top of it, it'll lessen the pop a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Braden, that's just kind of my mentality, is just to use my skills to make others happy. Now, of course, all of these things cost me money, so it's, you know, it's essentially the same as just sending super chats or sending money or whatever. But yeah, it's my way of sort of saying thank you to whoever, you know, whoever I'm trying to thank with a custom car or whatever it is. But yeah, hopefully we get a pretty good reaction out of these people, John and all his staff. It'd be pretty neat. But this car is coming together really cool. It's always difficult because I don't have these cars rendered in 3D. I only ever look at them in 2 dimensions for the ones that I make. So like this, so these decals for Jason's cars, like this is based off of a real car. So I know kind of what the real car looks like, and I know how the decals are going to look on the car. But for something like this, for John, like, I don't know I don't know what the car is going to look like until I get the decals on. So this is, you know, this design's just a shot in the dark. I just thought it would look pretty cool, threw some stuff together, painted it yellow and black, and shipped it. And so far, I think it's turning out great. It's very unique, that's for sure. But yeah, that's my thought process going through it, is I only ever see it in 2 dimensions, and I really don't see the I don't see the finished product until I clear it and put it all together. So like for something like this, yeah, I guess I could put the hood in and put the deck lid on, but it just like in my mind, this is how the car looks for a long time. So not even in my mind, in reality. Pod racer. Yeah, you could wrap a pod racer. I don't think so. But yeah, I wasn't too sure how this one was gonna turn out. So this part, I don't love this part. So I'm thinking the big thing is that's not too bad actually. I can go over it a little bit. I'm gonna have to fill these gaps in ever so slightly. So there's a little Well, we can bring it closer. There's a little gap here and a little gap here from the A-post over onto the roof, over top the roof rail. So I'm going to use these extra decals to just kind of fill them in. It wasn't really planned that way, but that's how it's going to go. Braden, have you been here the whole time? Because if so, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I mean, if you just popped out and popped back in, that's fine too. You can do whatever you want. It's America. You have the freedom to do and watch whatever you want to watch. But yeah, we'll take this. We'll just cut it a little bit. Probably like this. And then we'll throw it on top. See, here's where it's difficult in my. Yeah, we could just do it like that. All right, let's just do it like that. So the way that the cut line is, I don't love how sharp the transition is, but I'm gonna put stuff over top of the roof rails to black them out. So it's gonna work out pretty nicely, and you won't really be able to tell anyway. I guess paying attention to detail gets me in trouble sometimes, but for stuff like this, maybe not. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna mute myself to use the air gun. Alright. So we'll do the same thing for, you know what? While we're doing that, we'll put on Mr. Crist's bow tie. That's funny. That's one of them serendipitous things. Alright, question for the chat then. Do we leave the bow tie just to be white like this? Because that would match the net positive at the top. Do we leave the bow tie to be white, or do we put the yellow on top of it to match the background color? I mean, we have options, so either way. I think it'll look good either way, personally, but I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards making it yellow. But I'm open to hear what you guys have to say about it. This one, I'm gonna cut like this. Just keep it white. Okay, yeah, I could just keep it white. I think it looks pretty good because it matches the text up top, the net positive. I agree. Do you guys like the pluses around the car as part of the design? And then the way I did it was I basically had it go with the line of the number, or the angle of attack of the numbers. So same thing with the doors, which again, numbers on the sides of the car and the doors, it's slanted with the angle of attack of the number. It is coming together nicely. And relatively quickly. My intention was to do a little bit before the stream started, and that didn't happen. I didn't have enough time. But, I mean, we're making pretty good progress, so it's not that big of a deal. Also, I like how his logo is his hair. That's funny. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I think the white Chevy bow tie for the hood's a good call. Did you guys, I'm assuming, did any of you guys watch the race on Sunday? I'm gonna guess that it's probably a majority no, but I could be proven wrong. I think I mentioned this in the last stream, but my new favorite ways to watch the race on Sundays are without the audio. I will say the Xfinity races are my favorite. I think they have a really solid booth with Adam Alexander and Jamie McMurray and Parker Kligerman. I cannot get behind the Truck Series booths with Jamie Little and white bow tie. Okay, white bow tie. Everybody wants the white bow tie. All right, we'll keep it. We'll keep it that way. And then the Cup booth, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about it. But overall, like, Coda is okay. It's not my favorite track, but it's not the worst. Oh no. Oh no. We lost video again. Okay, we're back. Gosh dang. It's always something. But anyway, Coda, I thought the race overall was pretty good. I mean, I still think stage cautions should go away. No caution, just keep on racing. Because especially for a place like that, like, you're pacing and pacing and pacing, and it's just so, it takes away from it, from the actual, like, it literally takes away from the racing because you're just riding around under caution. But I understand, like, the one where Dylan gets stuck in the gravel. You got to pull him out of the gravel, so I get that taking a little bit longer under yellow. But I don't understand. I still don't understand why they throw a yellow for the stages. I think that's just dumb. I know why they do it, because they want to bunch everybody back up so they can have their drama, and it's just a band-aid fix for NASCAR because the racing product isn't as interesting or as good as it could or should be. So they have to artificially build it up. But yeah, it's whatever. I'm not here to complain about NASCAR. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent race. Probably the best Coda race they've had. I was a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, that William Byron didn't race Christopher Bell a little bit harder than what he did. If that was if that was Ross, he would have just punted the 20, which, if NASCAR wanted their drama, their entertainment, that would have been more drama, more entertaining. But yeah, William Byron decided to kind of race like Gordon and try to pass him clean, which, good on ya, I guess. One that, I mean, they were teammates, so it's a little bit different, but one that sticks out in my mind is 2007 Martinsville Spring Race, where Gordon and Johnson were 1-2 coming to, at the end of the race, and they were battling, and Gordon just kind of was real nice about hitting Jimmy. He just, little bump here, there, instead of just moving him out of the way. So, like the older Gordon got, the less aggressive, I suppose, he got from my perspective as a fan, because there were days where he just moved Rusty Wallace at Bristol. We straight up wrecked Kenseth at Kansas in 06. But I've watched that video back multiple times, and it just seems like Kenseth lifted in the middle of the turn, which was a strange decision. I think he had a lap car, like he was coming up on a lap car, or lap car was on his outside or something, and I think his car just got tight, and so he lifted, and Gordon was already back in the gas at that point. It's a little interesting things, but yeah, I thought Byron, like, good on him for actually trying to race Bell clean. You don't really see that too often these days. If it was Ross, he probably just moves him out of the way and goes on to victory lane. Has no problem or issues about it. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good race. I just didn't care much for the outcome. It was shaping up to be really cool. I mean, Tyler Reddick was there too. I don't like Tyler Reddick, but he could have been a wild card if Byron and Bell started slamming doors and getting into each other. Could have been a 3-car battle. Also, just the Fox broadcast putting the caution light at the bottom of the screen when they take the white flag is just, it's infuriating. Because now everybody's just trained to assume that there's going to be a caution on the last lap, and it's going to be in NASCAR's hands whether they end the race or keep it green. And I hate that precedent that's been set and that mindset that people have now. Like, oh, well, there's going to be a caution, so we got to throw the caution light on to see who's ahead. Like, I don't know. I can't stand that. Call me old school, call me ancient, I guess, but that sort of mentality is just it's what hurts is the sport. Like, I don't know. Wow, every time I get talking, I find like a negative thing to talk about, and I try not to. I really do. I try to be positive. I try to be a net positive, and yet here I am saying negative things. What in the world? We're making some great progress tonight. So I don't even know if I'm going to be done in 15 minutes. Still got a lot of decals to put on. Alright, let me ask the chat. Should I just keep streaming until I'm done with the car, or should I just end it at the 2-hour mark and finish decaling off stream? I might just keep streaming until the end. I don't know. There's really no point in ending it early. I mean, what's the difference? I'm going to be here anyway. It's whether or not you guys want to stick around. Also, you don't even have to stick around. If everybody leaves, that's fine too. Finish it. Alright. I can do that. Yeah, but like, if you guys don't even want to stick around, that's perfectly fine with me. Well, no, you guys, the chat hasn't been too active tonight. You've been there, but you haven't been too active. I know you guys probably just have this on in the background and doing other things, which is fine. Like I said before, that's fine with me. I'm tired though. I'm ready to go to sleep. As soon as this is over, I'm taking a shower and finish the night. Yeah, it's only 10, quarter to 10. One thing about this decal setting solution is it helps the decal get into, like for this particular car, the roof flaps don't open, so it helps It helps those roof flap lines. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It helps that out a lot. So you don't have any air pockets underneath the decal. You guys hear the baby crying? That's crazy. If you could. Now we're kind of trying to get into the speed run portion of it, where I don't want to go too fast, where I'm messing things up, but like I do want to get this thing done tonight as well. Can't be too picky about how the decals lay down. Whoops. The next live stream, I have no idea when it's going to be, but I have another Jason Alexander car to decal. It was that pink, I don't know if you guys caught it. It was like the pink and white one from Michigan. He joined a couple streams ago. So yeah, well, whenever the next live stream is, I don't have it planned out yet. My intention is to decal that car. Maybe, ooh, it might not even be this week, because I'm pretty much busy the rest of the week. Tomorrow, yeah, maybe, yeah, but I don't know if I'll go live again tomorrow. Thursday, I'm going to clear this car, so I can't go live because I'll be doing other stuff. Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, so I will be at church, not clearing or not working on this car. Friday I have to go to bed early because I am reffing a soccer tournament on Saturday. So, and I have to be up really early for that. So, I don't think I'll be streaming on Friday. Saturday, obviously, soccer tournament. And Sunday, I don't know. Well, Sunday's race day, so like I'm not gonna stream over the race. So it might not be till next Monday that we're live again. That's just the nature of it. I might not even have time to work on the car, even if it were off stream. I just wouldn't have time to work on it. You know what this car also reminds me of is Matt Kenseth's Killer Bees, like the DeWalt 17. That's like, it reminds me of that also. I think it's the yellow text on the black background. I think that's what it is. Oh, I am getting pretty tired though. Tired of sitting this long. So this A-post decal is a sold out thing, sold out banner, which is just kind of something funny for shows. You know, comedian, he does shows and they sell out. So not that he like, well, never mind. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Just a little thing that I added. The real question is, are you guys tired of me yet? So you said if I'm tired of you. Whoa, Steph has entered the chat. Welcome, welcome in. It's been a long night. I'm getting tired. You missed a lot of fun. You're not even in the chat though, you're in the text. You gotta enter the chat. We're pretty much wrapping up. I mean, we're getting down to it. Not a ton of decals left to put on. Let's go. Yay, Steph is here to entertain. Also, it's kind of funny, so like in the headlights and the taillights of the cars would be like the team. Oh, focus. And it's I just used his face as the team, so that's kind of funny. It's another little tidbit of information. All these fun little Easter eggs, as they're called. But yeah, I tried to keep this one under 2 hours. We're not gonna make it. We're gonna blow past 2 hours. Ugh. Yep, that's just how it's gonna go. Alright, 2.5. We're gonna keep it under 2.5 hours. Thanks. It is a NASCAR. It's a NASCAR. Can't wait till it's done. We're almost there. We're almost there. Name that song. Name that movie. For all you people out there. Yeah, see, this is the one thing about this spot where the colors transitions. It's gonna be busy with all the pluses and whatnot on it, but I think it looks pretty good. Should have done a 164. Yeah, 164 would have been. They don't, for something like this. I mean, you want them to be able to hold the car, and you wouldn't like. A 164 is great, but not for something that you're gonna be presenting. Yep, the Princess and the Frog. You got it. You got it. Yeah, this is like 164 would have been a lot easier. It would have taken a lot less time, but 124 is cooler. It's a big car. You can hold it and like show it off, and you don't have to like zoom way in. So yeah, a 164 absolutely would have been easier, but I think in my opinion a 124 is way cooler. Yeah, we would have been done by now. We would have been done probably an hour ago. Because if that was the case, I probably also wouldn't have done all of the white underlays, because like a 164 you can't really see that detail as much. Like for Cody's cars that I'm going to be working on, which speaking of, he finally got me some decals or some graphics today so I can finish his sheets up, but those cars I'm gonna do basically a full wrap for the 164s, and that's just gonna make it a heck of a lot easier on me. Instead of placing every individual decal, basically it'll be roof, trunk, whole nose or hood area, side, TV panel, other side, and nose. So it'll be like, I don't know, 6 or 7 decals that'll pretty much wrap the whole car. And that's just going to be easier for 164s because I got to do 50 of them, and it's going to take me an eternity to decal. Maybe I'll do those live. I'm not sure. Mucho coolero. Yeah, 124 is way cooler, especially when you're going to be sending it to somebody. Oh, and the 91, I think he put his like actual sponsors on like a late model or a real car or something, and that was the number. So that's why I picked 91. I was struggling to figure out what number I should add to it. Like, do I do 25 because it's 2025 or the year he was born or whatever, or the year he started company? But I found that he had his decals or his actual stuff on a late model, and 91 was the number that they used, so I just decided to go with that. So I was thinking about leaving this off, but I kind of like these little decals. Juan Pablo Jet Jar. You know, funny about that, like, people have made that car in the crashed state before. There have been plenty that have shown up on eBay with basically the whole car is burnt out. It's got a bunch of fire suppressant on it from the fire extinguishers when they put the fire out. So yeah, people have made that car, and I have seen it on eBay pop up a few times. But yeah, John Crist's Disney video is pretty funny. I think it's a good one. Most of his videos are good ones. He's a pretty solid comedian, and you know, he doesn't he's a clean comedian. It's just funny, which is pretty rare these days. But we're closing in here. Huh, the upside down it looks like a 16, I guess, with the way that the font is. Turned out pretty nice though. I can't remember, I think it's just called Varsity font for the numbers that I did. But I liked back in the day when they would put the numbers in the headlights and the taillights. Now they put them underneath the car, or underneath the headlights and taillights, because the branding, you want, like, I don't know. It seems in my mind that the manufacturers didn't want decals covering up their branding, which is the headlights and taillights and stuff, but that would be my guess. Back in the day it was cooler. I think the ARCA cars, no, maybe, yeah, I think the ARCA cars do still put the numbers in the headlights and taillights. I don't know about Xfinity. No, Xfinity definitely doesn't, and neither do the trucks. But the ARCA cars are old cup bodies anyway, so 2013, 14, something around there. Oh yeah, the yellow number on the side. Michael, I can't even read what your name says. Hello. That's a cool font, Michael Omer. Well, hello. Welcome to the chat. We're almost wrapping up here. We've been live for just over 2 hours decaling this car. Basically started as nothing, just black and yellow, and now we have pretty much all the decals on it. And I'm getting pretty tired from sitting like this. So the faster we wrap this up, the better. It's been a long, long Monday, but I hope I have provided some entertainment to you guys for a couple hours. I know it's unfortunate because, like, Moobs is streaming tonight, and I don't want to stream over him, but I just don't have a choice. Like, I have to work on my cars when I have time to work on them. I can't just not. And so if nobody watches me, then that's perfectly fine. I guess I'm just here to decal my cars and document the whole process, and if you guys want to come along and join the stream and interact in the chat, that's fine with me. But I just hate it that, like, some days whenever I have the time, I'll end up streaming over somebody, because you never really want to do that, because everybody's trying to do their thing here on the YouTubes, make their own way, whatever it is. And I mean, you're going to stream over people. It's impossible not to. There's just so many people live. But in the specific niche community, like NASCAR gaming, NASCAR Diecast, like you're gonna stream over people. It's a part of it. And like I've said before, I don't have a schedule. I don't have a set time where I'm planning to stream and whatever. It's just whenever I find the time to do so. That's how it works. So tonight, it's Monday night, I didn't have anything going on, so here we are. Live for almost just a little over 2 hours, and trying to wrap this car up. We've made some pretty good progress, and I'm excited about it. It turned out really good. Like I said before, I don't know who all was here before when I was talking about it, but all of this was done in 2 dimensions. I don't have the ability to 3D render cars with whatever paint schemes I designed, so this was all just kind of done in 2 dimensions, and then I guessed that it would look good, and I mean, so far I would say that it's turning out pretty good. It's got elements, the black, yellow, and white remind me of like the DeWalt from back in the day, Matt Kenseth paint schemes, and then the pluses are like the Valvoline. I think Mark Martin's car was, I think it was blue on the nose and white, like the blue would be where the yellow is and the white would be where the black is. I think it was red, white, and blue. I think they were V's for Valvoline that were transitioning the color from blue to white. I think. I don't exactly remember that car off the top of my head, but I vaguely do. And that's kind of what this was designed off of, because John Crist's podcast is net positive, and positive having the plus symbol, of course. The international sign for positive, that's what all these are pluses. So, yeah, or it kind of looks like a bumblebee. That's true. A bumblebee. But it's based on a 2001 Chevrolet Monte Carlo body, and that's simply because I had it laying around in my I don't know what to do with pile. And so my wife suggested that I make a car for John Crist because he likes NASCAR, and he has a podcast, and on his podcast behind him are some shelves, and he's like, hey, I don't know what to put on my shelves. Everybody send me something that you think could go on the shelf. And so she's like, you should make him a car because he likes NASCAR and he needs something to go on the shelf. So that is the origin story of this diecast, and I will be sending it to him probably on I might be sending it out Monday. I'm intending on putting the clear coat on it Thursday, then buffing and yeah, probably Monday. Buffing it, wet sanding it, hitting it with a rubbing compound to get it nice and shiny, and then probably send it out to him on Monday there. Then hopefully it'll get to them, and then he can put it on a shelf. I can't wait to see his reaction. I'm super excited for that. I hope it's a good one. I would imagine it's going to be, but you never know. He could be mad that his face is on a diecast. You never know. But I like this little thing that I added here. This sold out. I don't know how well you can see it, but since he's a comedian and he does shows, it's a neat little thing because he sells out shows. That would be typically where the NASCAR race car decal goes, but I decided not to add it for this one. I decided to just have that sold out banner run across there. All these contingency decals are just what would have been on Jeff Gordon's car at the Winston Cup back in 2001. So this whole car was based off of 2001 Jeff Gordon car, because that was what it was before it became this John Crist car. Now, it typically pains me to take apart Gordon cars, but I didn't really have a use for it. So I didn't know what to do with it, so this is what it has become. And honestly, that doesn't look too bad. All the contingencies, you can kind of see them pretty well over top of the design feature. So yeah, that looks good. I like this car. Maybe I'll keep it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna keep it. If I wanted to, I could just make it again. that is the fun of being a diecast maker, is I could just make it again if I want to. Or like if one of you guys is a really big John Crist fan, in theory I could make it for you. I kind of want to keep this to a 1 of 1 though. It's the only car that's ever going to be like this. It's the only car that's ever going to be made. I like the exclusivity of it. Yeah, no, that's not happening. No. None of the cars that I collect would I use. No, that's not happening. My collection is separate from the donor car collection. A lot of the cars that I have are like, not a lot of them, a decent chunk of the cars that I have are pretty rare, so there's no reason for me to take them apart and make them into something else. Unless I somehow stumbled upon 2 of them. But I don't think I would do that to the... Now, if it's like 1 of 5,000, which I know the cars don't get up to those numbers anymore. But if that were the case, then yeah, I don't really mind. Like these old cars, there are multiples of thousands of these out there, so it doesn't really bother me to turn them into something better. So this is what slows me down, because I don't like the way that this turned out on this car. So I'm gonna change it a little bit, bring it back ever so slightly. Taco Bell car, yeah, well, okay, so the Taco Bell car is now in Dylan's possession. He has the Taco Bell car. If I wanted to make that one, I could. That was the first ever diecast driven custom car, was the Taco Bell car. But that one, I think Dylan still has it. He might have sold it. Honestly, if he sold it, that's perfectly fine with me. That was like the first car that I ever made with actual decals. I had messed around with some other cars with just like printing, just normal inkjet printer paper. But that Taco Bell car, I bought the decals off of eBay, and it was an experiment. It was one ugly car. It's funny to see how far I've come from making that car to making these ones. Now I got a program that I can do my own decals in. I know there's a company that I can get my decals printed from. So I can design and print, basically design and print whatever I want. And that's what this car is. It's a custom John Crist car. Designed 100% by me, and then printed so that for his enjoyment, hopefully. But yeah, the Taco Bell car, what a throwback. That was 2011. I think it was David Reagan. I could be wrong. It could have been David Gilliland. The two Davids, when they raced for front row, confused the heck out of me. I don't really remember who was in which car. One was the 34, one was the 38, and they were both like, I mean, Front Row Motorsports wasn't very good. They're kind of a back marker team. Then they won at Talladega with David Gilliland in 2013, I think. And that was like big time upset, which was cool. Actually, I think they finished 1-2. Didn't they finish 1-2 in that race? I don't know. But yeah, that was big upset, and it's really cool. I like to see when the smaller teams win. Yeah, it's fun when like the 24 wins. Obviously, I like that, but I also like when the smaller teams win races. Of course, if it happened every race, they wouldn't be the small teams anymore. But every now and then, when a Wood Brothers will steal a win, or like Front Row back in the day. I mean, Trackhouse isn't really a small team anymore, but when they first started, that was pretty cool to see them win. They were a small team to start, with Justin Marks, and Ross, and Daniel Suarez, but now they've got Shane Van Gisbergen full time. They got Ross and Suarez full time, and then Zilich is part time. Which, if I had to guess, what's going to end up happening is Zilich is going to take over Suarez's ride. I don't really know the whole contract situation. I don't know when that's up and all that kind of stuff, but that's just my prediction. And a lot of people have been saying it's not my thought. It's just, well, it is my thought, but a lot of people have also been saying it. So, yeah, I think Suarez is probably going to be out and Zilich is probably going to be in. I'm also thinking that if Dodge does come back to the Cup Series, Trackhouse is probably going to... I would think they would be one of the ones to leave Chevy and join Dodge. Because Ross... Alright, Ross is a madman, first of all. He just likes to run everybody over. But honestly, I think the sport needs a little bit of that, because there's a lot of vanilla drivers that are pretty boring and corporate-y, and I really hate that about NASCAR. Like, Jimmy Johnson was very vanilla and very corporate. Jeff Gordon was to a degree, but it just seems like the lack of personality is so frustrating. Most of the drivers just aren't relatable. They aren't that likable, and I don't know. Ross is just, he's a dart without feathers sometimes, and it's funny. I don't know. I like the chaos when it's driver dependent, not NASCAR dependent. Like when they decide to throw the caution, when they don't decide to throw the caution. I hate that. NASCAR dependent, that's annoying. But when Ross is just doing Ross things, it's funny, in my opinion. Because he just likes to ruffle feathers. Well, I don't know if he likes it, but he just does. It was David Gilliland. David Gilliland in the Taco Bell car, 34 car for Front Row. Is it Front Row Motorsports or Front Row Racing? I think it was Front Row Motorsports. I think it was Front Row Motorsports. I wasn't gonna put the tape on the front valence, but I'll do it. We'll do it anyway. We'll do it live, and I'll put the side skirt tape on as well. Since we're here, 2 hours, 16 minutes. We're a little bit longer than I had wanted to go, but it's fine. It's been entertaining, I think. For me, anyway. Front Row Motorsports, yep. See, my memory, it's obscurely good. Alright, so after this wheel well Goodyear goes on, we got 3 decals left. You know what? Probably... No, they're not gonna legalize wall riding. They already outlawed it, actually. I think back in 2001, you know what? Some of the cars may have actually had the curved Goodyear. I know a lot of them had the Goodyear decal that just went straight across the wheel well opening. I think some of them did have the curved Goodyear. All right, so we can. Not gonna use that. Not gonna use that. That's all done. We'll clean up here while we're waiting for those other decals to set. Oh man, what a night! Ooh, getting old over here. Glad you guys could join. It's been fun. I hope you have been entertained for the last almost 2.5 hours. Oh, yeah. It's about time. Oh, yeah. The number in the middle of the door is where it's at. This number shifted forward BS is just another dumb decision by NASCAR. I agree with the number being in the middle of the door as looking right. Alright. 3 decals to go. We're almost done here, folks. Thanks for sticking around. It's been fun. been fun. It's been fun. Like I said, I don't know when I'm going to go live next. Yeah, I think she's sleeping. I don't know. I'm going to go upstairs and find out. I don't know when I'm going to stream next because I have a lot going on the next couple days. But this stream I barely promoted. I didn't even put a short out or a post out or anything like that. So that's probably why we get relatively low numbers tonight, which is fine. I'm not, like I said, it's not about the numbers for me. It's about getting the stuff done, interacting with the people that are here. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see the next stream I do. Maybe I'll make a post or a short about it or something. Maybe I should just not stream this week and focus on editing my Diecast model for next week so I can put it out next week, because I have a feeling a lot of people have been waiting for that. Like I said previously, that short has gotten over 1,000 views. It's like 1.1 thousand views, which is crazy for me. It like really blew up. And so it's been over a month since I put it out, and it's still getting views. People are still looking at it. So they obviously want to see that start. Had to use the air gun for a second so we could cut out this jack opening. Very nice. Little setting solution to wrap it around the bottom. Beautiful. All right. 30 views for the people that are still here. Thank you for joining. Got one final decal to put on the car. What a night. 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2.5 hours. Oh, we're losing people. We're losing the crowd. See, if there's nobody here to begin with, you have no one to lose. That's some philosophy for you. Alright, so the front valence tape goes around the bottom of the car, help them understand the ride height, and seal off the riveted skirt that goes on the front. At least back then it did. All right. I'm ready for sleep. I'm ready to go to bed. All right, everybody. The last decal has been applied. I got to do a few things off camera, like touch up a few spots. Well, let's put these in here. See what it looks like all together. Now, like I said, got to do a few touch-up things off stream, but overall I think it turned out really nicely. These old cars, there we go. All right, thank you. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. I like this car. This is a cool one. So yeah, there will be a little grill piece here at the bottom. Obviously windshield, windows, all that kind of stuff. So that was the marathon. It's a long time to talk, 2.5 hours, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad that you were able to hang out with me for a little bit. We got one extra decal out of it, since we decided to keep that hood decal white instead of yellow. So, alright everybody, think I'm going to call it there. I appreciate you being here, and a video will go out Friday, and I guess I'll see you in the next stream. Thanks again. Hope you guys have a good night. This has been Diecast Driven, creating a John Crist car. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.